Hi, I'm
Hi.
here with my friend Pamela. Pamela and I are sister, mother, daughter, besties. Hi there, Pamela. So go ahead. You were saying that you actually had the opportunity to see the video that
I did.
talks about the virtuous and the vicious cycle in relationships.
Yes.
Okay.
And I had an insight that sort of smacked me in the face. It was the first time I think I've ever had such a big insight. And it's probably going to seem really not that big to people. But it was when Maria was talking, and she said something about how, um, boy, I've heard it a million times. I've taught it a million times. And this time it just really made a difference to me. So she was just saying how she didn't need to pay attention to these thoughts that were coming to her. I don't even remember how she worded it, but it was just what hit me was, oh my God, I have a thought about what someone's doing or not doing. That's usually a negative thought and a judgmental thought. And I think I have to act on it. And so the insight was, just because you have those thoughts, dummy, duh, you don't have to do anything about them, except realize it's just a thought.
So I'm wondering within the context of relationship, because I think that's how we were talking about, right? I think the webinar, if you're interested in the webinar, it's called Avoiding Remorse in the Time of a Pandemic, or, just a difficult time. So we were really talking about this virtuous circle or vicious circle within the context of relationships. So I'm just wondering if you could expand a little bit more about that, just within the context of your relationships, how this might be helpful. I don't know if you had any um, insight within that context,
Oh, well, sure. As soon as I saw what I saw so clearly,
which
uh,
was you don't have to pay attention or do every thought that
I
comes.
don't have to do anything with what I think. That, that, okay, for example, I could think, I don't think this person is very attractive in my life. They're not physically attractive. They're not, they just don't appeal to me in their looks. And then I would know immediately that was critical thinking, and that would shut me down. But now I can see, this is something that happened in the past. Now I can see from looking at it, from what I realized is that I could think, oh, they're not very attractive. Oh, I don't know if I really want to be around them. And just go, that was a funny thought. Well, I don't have to pay attention to that. That's not the truth. Just what I'm thinking in the moment. And I think that that would shift me totally in the way I was being around that person.
Do you think it would be helpful to notice that a little bit more in your romantic relationships?
Well, that's what I was not trying to talk about, Gabriella.
I thought you were just talking about some random person.
Maybe
Like,
it would, maybe it could. I've been ruminating on that since I've had this insight. I don't know.
it
But it has potential.
has potential.
And I can see where there's the potential. There's a potential for just, well, even since I've had this insight, and for those of you who haven't figured it out, I'm talking about my husband. Just while we're here isolated with the pandemic, there are times when I just want to say, "You're so stupid. Why do you do that? Why are you doing that?" And I'll just see it in that moment and go, "Oh well, there I am. I'm thinking that thought's important. That I need to do something about that. I need to say something to him. I need to act differently or I need to try and change them. There's a lot of things I do, excuse me, around this thinking I have that I think so important and meaningful. And now that I've seen that, I'm sort of monitoring myself to the point that I'm not reacting.
Hmm.
So it's making for much smoother sailing in the same little ship we're on right now.
Oh. And just for the people that don't know Pam, Pam actually has been studying and teaching the principles since 1998, right, Pam? 1997?
97.
1997. So I just wanted to say that because Pam is a person that has a lot of experience in many, many settings, working in jails, working with kids, working with teachers, working with women, right, in addiction. And currently she has a group in Carlsbad, California. So she's a very experienced teacher, and it's wonderful that even though she's got a lot of experience, like, I have a lot of experience, we still have blind spots, right? And we still can have insights that can help us have just a nicer, gentler life. So,
Yep, I'm living proof. No
yeah,
matter how old you are,
no matter how old you
no
are,
matter how many times you've heard it or said it even.
because you've said what you told me right now.
I
And
know, I
yeah,
know I have. Something's changed, something shifted in me. Thank you, Maria. Um,
yeah,
and I don't know how it did. I'd like to know that. That seems like it'd be pretty cool to figure that part out. But in the meantime, I get to reap the rewards of this pleasanter relationships, because it's the same. I have a lot of judgmental thinking about my son, about my grandkids, about, well, everybody. So, but it seems families impact us harder. The thinking is I don't know. I heard one of the three principal speakers say once it was because our egos were more involved in it all. I don't know if that's true or not, but um, yeah, there's something about family that just seems to be harder to ignore when you think stuff about what they should or shouldn't be doing.
right. So thank you, Pam, for being willing to record this with me. That we don't have makeup, my goodness. Uh, but we are doing a series of webinars, and really we just want to be supportive to people through this time, but also beyond this time. If you're interested, the information about our next webinar, which will be this Monday coming up, which it will be, I'll tell you exactly, I should have had this ready, shouldn't I? But there you have it. It's actually May 11th, Monday, May 11th, and we are going to be meeting at 10 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. So for more information, look at the link below, and we hope to see you there. Thank you. Thank you, Pam.